Ooh, hello. Hi. Yes, you have a sword now. You are all powerful to protect me and my and my stream against those who would do it harm by coming in and saying naughty naughty things. Hi guys, how are you tonight? Got some Mega Man for you tonight. I'm still not sure what kind of stuff I want to stream yet at this juncture, just because there are not, that many people coming, and I don't want to like waste the some of the special games I want to play. Yes, apologies are in order. The previous stream was at a weird bullshit resolution that I did not realize until later. It should be 720p tonight. Last time it was apparently at like 468p, and I don't know where that number came from. Uh, and everyone said during the stream, "Oh yeah, it looks fine." And I guess it was because it was like a Super Nintendo game that you couldn't really tell the difference anyway. But going back to the mic's cutting out. Is it still cutting out, or am I? I don't know why it would be doing that. How are we now? I mean, everything looks alright on my end. We good? Alright, cool. Yeah, last time, apologies, it was a weird resolution because of a setting that I was unaware of, and despite me having multiple other settings set to 720p across the board, there was this one setting that overrides everything, apparently, and put it at some weird low resolution. So, unfortunately, that first stream is like at a really crusty quality, but I think we should be alright now. I'm just doing 720, 30 frames per second, because I don't know what problems going any higher would cause me, and I don't want to chance it right now. Yes, I did take this picture. I took this picture a few years ago at our friend's pool, and I was like hastily scrambling stuff together for like stream images like this and like the BRB and the end screen and all that, and I was like, I don't know what to use. I haven't gotten used to drawing on this computer yet. I don't want to draw something. So I just took some old some old photos that I took, which is why like the header, if you see that, is like Mario overlooking the city. But yeah. So let's jump right into it. As you can see, what is updating over here? Oh, they want me to update Smash Brothers. As you can see, this is not the original NES version. I'm just gonna play on the Switch for, sake of being easy. I seem to have an easier time connecting to systems with HDMI, so I figured I have the Legacy Collection on the Switch. Why not just do that? So, you guys are gonna have to let me know how the audio levels are. Again, because everything did get fucked up. I had to, when I, set the resolution to be correct, I had to change everything. And I think they're back where they were, but also, it's gonna depend on the game and the system and everything like that. So, let me know if I'm too loud, game's too quiet, vice versa, or just, any sort of thing like that. It's like I think now the game is going to be much quieter than that previous screen was. So, oh, hi Josh. Thank you for coming. No, don't worry about missing the last stream. I don't expect, you know, a lot of people to show up in general, but, you know, to be able to make it every time, I don't know how to, you know, you're never gonna accommodate everyone. I would like to try and get as many people as I can, like when they're available, but you never know. So yeah, let's play some Mega Man. Now, this one, I feel like I think they rushed this out, and it is lacking a story, because there are like 2 cutscenes at the end, and that intro song is amazing, but it definitely lends itself to having like some kind of lead-up cinematic. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I always thought maybe like there was a cutscene planned for this one, like every other Mega Man except one has, and they just ran out of time, but would have been cool, especially with that music. That is one of like my favorite video game songs, just like of all time. Who's your favorite Mega Man villain? That is a good question. I mean, aside from Dr. Wily himself, like Robot Master wise, let me see. First one that comes to mind is Woodman, and I don't know why. I just kind of like him, just by design. I don't know if that's my real... I can tell you my favorite out of the game we're playing right now, which I'm doing terrible at. My favorite in this one is Snake Man. And it almost tied with Shadow Man, who both have excellent music. This whole game is... I don't think there's a bad track in this game. Even the password screen is a great song. This is the most unfinished Mega Man game for sure. Yeah, it gives off that feeling. I think there was probably... I mean, there probably is a actual story behind it that I don't know of the production, but yeah, it always felt like there was probably a huge demand for the next Mega Man game after 2 was such a success that this one kind of got pumped out quickly. And it's my favorite Mega Man. But it's definitely missing some of those little extra features of polish. And unless you read the manual, you have no idea what's going on in this game. And then there's like a random cutscene like right before the Wily stages, and then one final cutscene, and that's like all the information you get. You don't really know like who Proto Man is, because this is the first game Proto Man shows up in. I mean, we'll talk about some stuff as we get to it. Some weird things in this one, but... oh boy. This one also has a weird boss order, because it kind of splits in 2. My order is Top Man, Shadow Man, Spark Man. Run a blank. Who comes after Spark Man? I'll see in a second, it'll jog my memory. So yes, Top Man, Shadow Man, Spark Man, Magnet Man, and Hard Man. And then you kind of switch, and I do Snake Man with the Buster. because he's weak to Needle. But I do Snake Man, Gemini Man, then Needle Man. And then you go on from there. And I was gonna open this stream with like a an official like rock remix of Shadow Man stage, and I'm really skeptical and like unsure of like what music I should and can use for these like starting screens and such. And I looked up that remix on YouTube, and even that was like, you know, it had like all the copyright information at the bottom. So I figured it was not a good bet to do that. And then the band, the One Ups, if you guys have heard of them, they do like kind of like a jazzy video game remixes. They have a great version of this song as well, but I'm unsure about using that either, even though they're kind of like a small band. So I just went with, you know, for now I'm just gonna go with music that exists in games, so I can't get, you know, claimed or muted or whatever. And you know, by the way, how is the music, or you know, the audio levels, I should say, so that my voice isn't drowning out the soundtrack? If you could make your own Mega Man villain, what would their name be and what would their power be? I think... Wow, that just jogged my memory. I think years ago, I did make, like, I did a drawing of Keytar Man, who was a robot shaped like a keytar, just because my fascination with the instrument. But, there are so many Mega Man bosses now that it's like, what hasn't been done? Because like every game almost has like some variation of like fire and ice, and they have to keep thinking of different words that relate to like fire and ice. So like the newest one had like Torch Man and Tundra Man, so they're kind of like running out of words, I think. Seeing those dragonflies, actually, I would want to make Bugman. That, I don't think that's been done. I mean, the X series has all the animals for the masters, for the like the Mavericks and whatever. So I know there's like one or two bugs within that, but I would want some kind of Bugman. What their powered would... Oh no, there's been Hornet Man. So, yeah. That exists. Because I was about to say that the power would be, like, to sting you or something, or, like, shoot stingers. But that's been done. So check that one off the list. I don't know. I like bugs, but also I hate bugs. They creep me out. But I'm like fascinated with bugs as cartoon characters. But I've never really made... I have like a couple designs that I've drawn like a couple times of bug characters, but never given them any, you know, second thought. I should get on that someday. So yeah, this is the Mega Man Legacy Collection. Back in either late December or early January, I found out that Legacy Collection 1 and 2, as a bundle for the Switch, was $30 at GameStop. Which is 10 games for $30. And even though I own all of these games, all 10 of those games in some form or another, I thought that was amazing to just, you know, have them all on the Switch, plus Mega Man 11. And I even got, somehow, $5 off, so it was actually 10 games for $25. And I have this. I have the Legacy Collection for the 3DS. And the only reason I bought it was because it came with the gold Mega Man amiibo. Because I already have Mega Man 1 through 6 on the 3DS Virtual Console. So how many times I own these games now, I don't know. But Nintendo's good at making me want the same games on each system. Because you can't just, you know, transfer over. You have to start over every time, and every time they get me, so. And I think that's how they get away with, I'm surprised they're not doing Virtual Console, because they could do stuff like, hey, here's Mario 3 again, you'll buy it again, it's on a different system. And that, you know, that Switch NES Online library is, very less than stellar. Oh boy. Macaroni Man, he shoots craft cheese powder. That shit gets in your eyes? Yeah, you're done. That stuff is, not appetizing, but I eat it, like, all the time. Not all the time, but I eat it, you know, often enough to say, like, I'm still eating it to this day, like, outside of my childhood. Even though it's not real cheese, or, like, is it even real macaroni? I don't know. I'm trusting, you know, big brand name products less and less for some reason. And even though I do, I, again, buy them anyway. Oh, by the way, there was also, in addition to the resolution of the previous stream being bullshit, there was also some mic latency between, not anything, you know, major, but my voice was coming in ahead of the actions, like ahead of the video. So when I watched it back, I would hear myself like react to things that would happen like a half a second later. I think I fixed that. I tested it earlier today. I think everything is more or less as close as I can get it. So I think every stream is just going to get gradually more tight in terms of would you call it production values? I don't know. That's pretty common. It happened all throughout SGDQ. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a way to get it perfect. And I wonder, like, I didn't test it live. I just did it, like, you know, an on-computer recording of it to see if it worked. But, you know, with once you start broadcasting, I think things might be a little different. But I don't think it should. I mean, it wasn't a huge problem in the first place. It was just kind of weird to, like, see me, like, go, like, oh shit, and then I would die after saying oh shit. But yeah. Here's everybody's favorite. Love the sound these make. Hate the blocks themselves. And I could... No, I can't. I don't have Rush Jet, so I can't really cheese it. Whoop. I just recently played Oracle of Seasons, Legend of Zelda, all the way through for the first time, and I got to one dungeon that had a 2D segment, like the ones of Link's Awakening did, and there was a block puzzle like those, and my initial reaction was like, haha, this reminds me of Mega Man, and then, like, a few moments later I realized, oh fuck, Capcom made this game. Nice. Sneaking in a cheeky little Mega Man reference into a Zelda game. Maybe not a reference, but, you know, sneaking in one of their own mechanics into the game. I wish NES Online had more good multiplayer games. Yes, and the multiplayer does not even work well. So it's like, even if we had them, like, Nintendo's Online is so bad that you can't even play a 30-year-old game with one other person. I tried playing it with my brother, who's in the same house as me. He was like 20 feet away, and there was lag. We tried playing hockey and it would, like, slow down. I mean, Mario Maker's been a nightmare if you've tried to play that multiplayer. My god. And I know a lot of it is, like, these other people have, like, shitty online connections, or they're far away, or both. But a lot of it is definitely Nintendo's problem. It's on their end. So despawn the bee there. Because old games let you, you know... Oh, didn't do it right there, but you can abuse some of those, you know, sprite limits and stuff. There's apparently some settings that helps the make online work setting. Slow motion Mario Maker is a hoot. Yes. I haven't played it much. Like, I got to A rank in Mario Maker, but I don't know if I'm gonna... Why am I still invincible? Okay, there we go. That those invincibility frames lasted a long time, I feel like. Yeah, I got to A rank for multiplayer in Mario Maker, but the matches are so hit and miss. Like, I could be doing so much better, and, like, some of them are just painful to, like, sit through. And I don't really have the option of... Not that I think the online issues are on my end, but, like, I can't even get that, like, what do they call it? The adapter or whatever that plugs, like, directly into your router or whatever. Drawing a blank, I apologize. But you know, the thing that gives you, like, a very steady, solid internet connection. I don't really have that option because of where I'm set up, and I can't really be set up anywhere else. But the signal's pretty good. I mean, the fact that I'm streaming from here should be some indication that I have an at least decent connection, but... Yes, the Ethernet adapter. See, I'm so far removed from it that I don't even know what it's called. It's like, why bother learning the name if I can never use it? But even people who have those will have issues with, you know, online in Smash or Splatoon. Because it's just, you just gotta hope the other players also have a steady connection and that Nintendo is not, you know, taking a dump. It's a real shame that they're always behind in the online department, and it's kind of getting ridiculous. C rank's too much for me too. I feel like more people would bother playing the online and getting higher ranks if the internet actually worked and every match wasn't a fucking slideshow. I just kind of powered through it to get A rank, but there are people with like S plus rank or what. I didn't even know it went that high. So, I went to a concert the other night, if you didn't see. I went and saw Bare Naked Ladies and Hootie and the Blowfish. Just on a whim. The night before, which was the night I streamed actually, my brother and his girlfriend had gone to see, and I couldn't remember this on stream, but I know now. They saw Elvis Costello and Blondie. Prior to them going to the concert, you know, I was talking to them about it, and my brother remembered that he wanted to see Bare Naked Ladies, and they were coming up soon, and they looked it up, and they said, that's tomorrow. And also, tickets are $6. And I said, well, shit, even I can afford that. So, the next day, I ended up going to a concert. Which brings the, that brings the total number of concerts I've been to now up to, let's see, 2. I've been to 2 concerts now, yeah. And one was one that I just said, yeah, sure, why the hell not? But it wasn't bad. What we did not know, however, was this was part of a 3-day festival going on that I still don't really know what it was. But, you know, we got there and it was... I've never been to this place, this venue, but my brother and his girlfriend go there all the time. They've seen so many people there. It's right outside of Philly, but still on our side of the river. And you know, they go there all the time, and it's outdoors, and they'll sit on the lawn. You know, they'll get like a towel and they'll just sit on the lawn and just, you know, see some music. Yeah, see some music. That's what they do. They look at the music. But we went, and it was, they said, we've never seen it this packed. And I don't like crowds. Which I don't even think is like my social anxiety. I think that's just anxiety in general, that crowds kind of freak me out because you don't know what's gonna happen. It's like I spent half the concert worrying, like, oh god, how is this going to be when we go to leave? everybody's going to be like pushing and shoving. It's going to be hard to get out. Well, how are we going to get? There's going to be so many people on the train when we get back. So, I don't like that kind of stuff. And let me tell you, I don't think I've, first of all, I don't think I've been in a place with more people, like an enclosed space with more people ever before. I think that was the most amount of people I've ever seen at one time in my life. And let me tell you, I have never seen a less diverse group of people. And I did not know. This was... We got there like yeah. Might as well just take the loss. We got there like halfway through Bare Naked Ladies, so we missed a bunch of their songs. But I think all of those people were there for Hootie and the Blowfish because they have not been together in a long time until just recently. So this is like one of their first concerts in many years. So I've read. Neither of these bands are bands that I know particularly well, but it's like I grew up hearing their music, so I said, yeah, I know these songs, I'll go. But there are some people there who are really, really into Hootie and the Blowfish. And, but what I did not know, Darius Rucker, the singer of Hootie and the Blowfish, his solo career, I did not know how far country he leaned. And I'm not that really a fan of country music, but some country music is really good. I hate to be the guy who's like, oh yeah, I like everything but rap and country. But both of those are just kind of like hit or miss for me. And the country I hate is like the really twangy, like, you know, with cars and trucks and beer and jeans, and all the songs are about, you know, getting dirty with women. I don't like that stuff. And the stuff that they perform, because they perform like half Hootie and the Blowfish stuff and half of Darius Rucker's solo stuff, and it was good. It was country, and it was good. Like, I would legitimately listen to those songs. Like, I would go out of my way to listen to those. But the crowd, man. Not only was it packed, and we were as far back as possible, pretty much. We just found one empty patch of grass. You could not see empty patches anywhere from where we were sitting, but we just found an empty patch of grass, squeezed in between some other groups, and for the most part, it was pretty good, but the people behind us started getting pretty drunk and rowdy in a hilarious way. But throughout the whole thing, they just kept screaming, "Play Wagon Wheel, play Wagon Wheel." And I'm going to my brother and his girlfriend, I'm like, what the fuck is Wagon Wheel? And they're like, we don't know. And eventually, he starts playing a song, and it was Wagon Wheel, and that's what they were waiting for, and they went ballistic. I mean, not just them. The entire crowd lost their fucking minds over this Wagon Wheel song, which was, like, decent at best. I've never heard it before. I didn't know it existed. But the crowd went ballistic, and as soon as it was over, the place emptied the fuck out. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I don't have to worry about as much of a crowd going back, you know, trying to exit the venue and get on the train and everything. These people waited all night for one song, and he didn't even play, like, his most famous Hootie and the Blowfish song yet, at that point. That was, like, his last thing. Only Want to Be With You. So, that was kind of bizarre. And also, to the right of us, I noticed at one point, well, first of all, I looked over at one point during a song, and there was this kid just doing push-ups. Just fucking going at it doing push-ups, like, just crazy. And I pointed to my brother, I was like, do you see this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? We just started laughing, and he stopped, and then, like, a few moments later, in another song, I didn't realize this kid was, like, 10 at a Hootie and the Blowfish concert, and he was getting into it like I mean, I was like, what drugs did this kid have? Because I want to know where I can get some of that. He was really into it, and I'm like, you know, it's funny to think, like, this is a band that's older than I am, and there's like a 10-year-old kid here. I mean, he had a Hootie and the fucking Blowfish shirt on, and he was just really passionate about it, I guess. And I feel like we're quick to judge when you see someone young enjoying something that was like way before their time, but I think this kid knew what he was there for, so, you know, respect for that, I guess. I mean, I saw a forget where it was. I just remember seeing a young kid, like really young, like 6 or 7, wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt. And, you know, my immediate reaction is like, how the fuck do you know Led Zeppelin? But, you know, why judge? Maybe that kid really does like, maybe his dad got him into Zeppelin or something. Maybe he just really fucking likes it. He can like whatever the fuck he wants. So, I think it's like a weird thing, but, you know, I would like to try and be less judgmental of that kind of stuff, because, you know, who cares anyway? If you're like 10 and you like Pink Floyd, I don't care. If you really like them, that's fine. Good for you. Love those little blue guys in the eggs. Yeah, those little, like, spermy guys. I'm pretty sure that's what they were supposed to be, but no, they are, they're very satisfying to, just, like, stand there and kill and try to farm items. RIP extra life drop. Did I miss an extra life? I'm not concerned about it. I just didn't notice. But yeah, it was a good time. That is not... I'm very much an introvert, so that is not something I usually do. But for $6 and like a couple bands that like I know decently enough, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I've never done this before. I've never been to this venue. I mean, I would like to see more concerts, but it feels like such an overwhelming thing to me. So maybe I'll go see another one in 10 years. I was into classic rock in high school. It's pretty much the same thing now, only classic rock is Foo Fighters. Yeah. It fell in the water into... Oh, okay, that's why I missed it. Oop. It's weird that, like... I can't imagine calling the stuff I grew up listening to classic rock, because, to me, classic rock ends at the 80s. But I'm sure there's, like people might call, the Backstreet Boys classic rock now. It's as if no time has passed and all the time has passed. Too much time has passed. Nothing has happened and everything has happened. I'm just glad a bunch of, like, the late 90s ska bands that I listened to are still together. I'm just going to take a death here. Come on, kill me. Do it. I try to... I'm very conservative with my E-tanks in these games, even though I can probably be a bit more lenient with them. Especially this one, because I think you can have, like, more than 10 at a time. In most other Mega Man games, it's pretty limited. Hit him. Perfect. 20 years always seem to be the cutoff. Pretty soon, early 2000s will be classic rock. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I remember thinking years ago, like when I first got internet, and I was like going on like Mario sites and Nintendo sites and stuff, and like this stuff that they were calling like classic games. I always did think like the period of time needed for something to be called classic was 20 years, and I don't know where that came from, but one of those sites must have led me to believe that. But yeah, so like thinking like the N64 is like retro gaming now, or even the GameCube is almost retro if you want to go by the 20-year standard. So now, since this game has no story, you for no reason go back to 4 of the levels with this guy called Doc Robot, who has the powers of the 8 Robot Masters from the previous game. And there's no explanation behind it, but it's kind of a cool thing actually to go... You don't go back to the stages exactly as they were. They're kind of like... Whoops. Slightly altered in that there are spikes there this time. And you fight Doc Robot twice in them. And each time he has a power of one of the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. It's not explained. I'm sure there is some official lore for it somewhere. But you would never know it. He just shows up. There's so much in this game unexplained. You have no idea who Proto Man is. If he's good or bad. Obviously you're going to think he's bad. You fight him just out of nowhere. You think he's probably the villain. If you read the story, all you pretty much get from it is that, like... What am I doing? Wily kind of apologized for his previous attempts at world domination and is now working together with Dr. Light again. And they're building some kind of like giant robot named Gamma. And that's all you get from it. So it's the first of the Mega Man games to make you think Wily isn't the bad guy, but it's never explained in-game anyway. So yeah, spoilers, Wily's the bad guy. I don't know if you knew that. This is where it gets really overtly unfinished. A bunch of upcoming bosses all look the same, so they could save memory. Yeah, I mean, like, why put in the old bosses and like all those like animations and stuff when you can just use one guy and pawn the abilities off on him? I remember how weird it felt when I first met people who were too young to have played the NES as a kid. Of course, it's pretty common now. Yeah, I like just missed the boat on the NES. The Super Nintendo was not out yet when I was born. The Game Boy was. So that was my first system. And then the Super Nintendo came out a couple years later, so that was my first console, and I completely skipped the NES. And by the time I was like 10 or so, I was really into quote-unquote classic gaming. And I really wanted like an Atari 2600 and an NES. And like I was so into these like retro games that I missed out on, like these. And I saved up, like I was in middle school. I was maybe like 5th or 6th grade. I saved up a bunch of money. And I went to Funkoland and I bought a used NES. And that was like my first big purchase. And that was in like probably the year 2000 that I was buying an NES. So it was like $50. And this was that in-between stage where like the games were old, but not old enough to be considered like collector's items or anything yet. So all the games, like I bought Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt for 89 cents. Actually, I think all 3 Super Mario Brothers games I got for 89 cents each at Funkoland. And I also remember going to a different Funkoland one time, specifically looking for Mega Man 2. Because I had not owned any of the NES Mega Man games at that point. I only owned Mega Man X and Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy. And I specifically went there looking for Mega Man 2, and they had this TV. I'm going to take a death again. They had this TV, you know, playing like a demo, and it had Mega Man 2 on it. And there were no copies on the shelves, and I just remember like asking the guy, like, hey, do you mind if I get the copy of Mega Man 2 that's in the TV? And like the guy was like, yeah, sure. And like he opened it, he had to like open it up, and because it was like behind glass and shit, and take it out. And the copy was like, it's covered in like splatter of like white paint. At least I hope it's white paint. And I was like so worried like it wasn't gonna work or something. But yeah, that was like my first NES Mega Man game. And then I think shortly after I bought this one. These are the only 2, Mega Man 2 and 3 are the only 2 NES Mega Man games I actually own on NES. Because they've gotten wildly expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for them at the time. Probably $10 at most. But now NES Mega Man games can sometimes reach like almost $100, if not more, depending on which one. I think Mega Man 1 is probably usually the most expensive. My dad brought out his old Atari for me in like '96. Played a lot of Keystone Capers. I don't even know that game. I have this like I never had like a legit 2600, but I have a couple like plug and plays with 2600 games on them. Not 2600 individual games, but like 10 games from the Atari 2600. That was a joke. You can laugh. No, I have like a plug and play from around that same time where I was like really getting into stuff, and like these were like some of like the really early plug and plays that would have like Pac-Man and like Dig Dug on them. And there was an Atari 2600 one that I have with like 10 games, and it's just like Pong, Breakout. It has Adventure and Yar's Revenge. Those are probably the most interesting that are actually on it. I would still like to get a legit Atari 2600 sometime, but I wouldn't really buy that much for it, so I don't think it's really worth it. It would be more of like just a collector's thing to say that I have, more than anything. Excuse me. What am I doing? So yeah, this is the first game with Rush as well. And I have nothing more to say about that, because he's in every game since. With like some slightly altered mechanics, but ultimately they go back to like the basic ones that were established in this one. I always forget these Doc Robot fights, which Mega Man 3 power works on which Mega Man 2 boss. I think I know some of them, like I'm pretty sure this one's right for Airman for some reason. So this part is interesting. I'll explain why in a second. And I think I might want to use an E-Tank, I'm not sure. So if you're not familiar with this game, there's now a large section of bottomless pit that you have to use Rush Jet to go over. And obviously, the more you use Rush Jet, the more energy you use until he gets depleted. So you have to keep picking up these energy capsules, but if you die, those energy capsules do not come back. And actually, I think I just fucked myself, because I think Rush is going to disappear when I unpause. Let's find out. I was going to use an E-Tank. Yeah, that's not good. Oh boy. Yeah, oh, nice, and I just landed on that pickup without being able to use it for Rush Jet. Oh boy. Well, what I was getting at was you can kind of conserve energy for Rush if you keep jumping, because the energy only depletes when Mega Man is on him, so it kind of like slows down the amount used a little bit if you can keep doing that. But yeah, if you kind of like lose enough or like use up all the energy capsules, you just kind of have to get a game over and start again. Which is, this whole section has always been a really weird thing for me, that they would... I mean, I don't think that would have been an oversight, right? It seems very deliberate, but it just also seems very punishing. Like, if you don't make this in, like, maybe a couple tries, then you just have to get a game over no matter how many lives you have. You'll notice I don't really ever use special weapons during the stages unless they're needed, even though it would probably be beneficial in many situations to use some of the Robot Master weapons occasionally. Like on that mini-boss, probably would have gone even quicker. Yeah, why not? I'm very stingy in video games for some reason. Like in games where you have currency, like RPGs and stuff, I really hoard money and I hoard items. Quick, what's Crashman weak to? Tell me. I'm just gonna guess that. I don't remember at all. I don't think it's... No, that doesn't work at all. That only does one. It's probably this. Yep. It was hard, man.
It's an Activision published game. I talk shit a lot about how Activision's only good era was the Atari 2600 era.
No, that's absolutely true. That is what I associate Activision with, is the Atari 2600.
Sadly, it wasn't on the Activision Classics collection for PlayStation, but it's a cops and robbers game. You chase a dude through a mall, and you get points based on how fast you capture him.
That kind of sounds pretty cool, actually. That is going back to Keystone Capers, by the way, for those who are watching this in the future with no chat. Nope. Yeah, I always associate Activision with their the box art for like their 2600 games, and it always had like a character or something leaving behind like this rainbowish trail. The one I always picture, and Sam, I know I told you this before on Twitter because I sent you the box art. It's like a Frogger clone, but you're a chicken. I don't remember what the actual... Yes, Freeway. Freeway. That's the... When I think of Activision, I think of Freeway. Not even the game. When I think of Activision, I think of the box art for Freeway for the Atari 2600. That is how interested I am in Activision. Oh, I know what to use.
Has the stream quality been alright visually? Because I'm showing over 1,000 dropped frames, and that is way more than last time. And I don't know why that would be. Everything looks fine. I mean, I guess if it's just here and there, it's probably okay. But has it been, like, really, like, stuttery or hiccupy at all? It just wholly drops out sometimes? That's weird. Not sure what to do about that. I will, you know, look into it for the future. Hey Nico, can you wish my wife Naomi a happy birthday? Yes. Happy birthday, Naomi. Have a good one. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is a lot. So maybe do some things that I wouldn't do because that would be a lot more interesting. But don't do anything that I really wouldn't do. Which is like robbing a bank while hopped up on PCP in another country. Hey, are we playing a game here, or? She just yelled yay. No problem. Yeah, I'm trying to keep a consistent eye on the chat. Yeah, I'm partially because I want to know what, you know, I want to talk to people, but also because I'm afraid if I just kind of like ignore chat for too long, I'll look back over to it and everyone will be saying like you're offline or something.
But as long as nothing too horrible is happening to the stream, then I guess it's alright for now. But I will, like, look up on it and see what I can do about that in the future. It's 1% dropped frames, apparently. And I'm only at 30 FPS to begin with. And this is also not... Like, I know this game pretty well, but it's not to the extent of DKC2, like last time, where I can just completely turn myself off and just... My hands will just play the game on their own. Shit. Well, that was a waste of an E-tank. There's probably a much more efficient way to be doing this, but as you have probably been able to tell, like 10 or so levels in now, I like to get hit by the bosses a lot, because I'm good at video games. We've not been going that long, and I'm almost done. So... I wonder if I can turn this into a double feature, and maybe I'll do Mega Man 2 after this. Because that's a bit shorter. That may also give me another opportunity to, like, tweet out to people that a stream is, in fact, occurring at the moment. And maybe we'll get, like, 2 more viewers. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There's a life. That's why these guys are good. They drop a lot of shit. Sometimes you get lucky. I believe you use hard knuckle on this one too. Oh, I guess not. I was very wrong. Spark? Nope. Shadow. Maybe? Oh. Gemini. Which is like the hardest weapon to use too, because if you can only have one shot at a time, and if it just goes in the wrong direction, you just gotta wait for it to disappear.
Getting an audience for a new stream is so much harder now than it was, like, even 3 years ago. It's like trying to start a webcomic now compared to the 2000s. Jeez, yeah. I got into Let's Plays back when it was brand new, and something only a few people on the Something Awful forums knew about. Really regret not taking advantage and starting my own thing back then.
I mean, yeah, because, like, I don't know, like, I don't want this to... I think for a lot of us... I mean, well, I can't speak for anybody else. And I can't speak for you. But, at least for me, it was kind of like... Yes, I knew Let's Plays were there. I knew they were a thing. And it was a thing that I wanted to do. But I didn't bother trying to do it too much, because I was like, no, I don't want that to be my thing. I don't want that to be what I'm known for. And, you know, like, I'd rather be known for making cartoons, which I didn't fucking do that either, so I might as well have been making a show about video games in the meantime anyway. But, yeah, like, when that was first a thing, like, I believe that was coined. The term Let's Play was coined on Something Awful, if I'm not mistaken. And it was, like, such a small little thing. And now that's, like, you know, how much of YouTube is composed of people playing video games now. Whether it be a Let's Play or stream VODs like this. Use Sparker. Yes. This one... Yeah, I think I usually use Spark because I think, like, underwater and electricity. Oh shit, oh shit. I'll just use the E-Tech. Brute force. Now we got... Who's this guy? Breakman? I never heard of him before. And you'll never hear of him again. He has the exact same whistle as Proto Man. He does the exact same thing as Proto Man. Why is he a different thing? Why is he here? Why is this battle happening? Why is it in Hardman stage? I have many questions. There's no point to this. And that's it. Oh no, right after we received the last element. Why we ran off with Gamma? Mega Man. There's your cutscene. Yeah, the element. You don't know the element that Dr. Light is talking about? The element that has been crucial to the gameplay this entire time? Have you not been paying attention? Yeah, Slowbeef posted the... Slowbeef was the first Let's Play? And they were just screenshots and text at first, no videos. Wow, I didn't know that. But I remember when... I don't know if they were doing Retsupre yet, but I remember Webcam Ward on Something Awful, which was just like him and Diabetes and, you know, whoever else, like, riffing on random, like, vlogs and stuff. And I remember that being fucking hilarious. And then they started doing it with, like, video games, and which, have they done anything in a while? I don't think I've seen anything from them in a long time. But, like, some of their series that they would do, playing, like, weird fucking games, like, what was that? There was, like, the one with Christopher Walken. It was, like, a 90s computer game with, like, full motion video. Like, it was, like, futuristic. And there was, like, Phantasmagoria. Those were bizarre. Like, those weren't, like, riffing over other people's Let's Plays, but those were, like, just highlighting weird, little-known games. So those were also very amusing. That was the wrong thing to do.
When I was a kid, I had no idea what Gamma was and thought it was just another name for roll.
Yeah, Wily ran off with Gamma. That could have, yeah. But yes, Gamma is actually a giant robot that Dr. Light and Dr. Wily are building together for no reason. I think there is a reason, but I don't remember what it is. But there is no mention of any of those things in the game up until that point where you fight Breakman, and then never see Breakman again.
The Bible. Oh, hi, Zach. The Bible was the first Let's Play. It was posted by God.
It's true. Have you heard the word? And have you liked and subscribed and commented to the word? I would like to go up to somebody's door, knock on their door, and say, "Hello, ma'am. Do you have a moment to like and subscribe to Jesus?" And they would probably be more willing to do that. Just because, you know, buzzwords. Like, yeah, I'll like Jesus on Facebook. So yeah, these are the stages where like you kind of start to have to use some of those special weapons. And also your stuff doesn't refill after every stage. I'm sure most people watching know that. But if you've never played a Mega Man game, then when you get to the Wily stages, your stuff does not refill between stages. So you have to be pay a little more attention to those weapon energy pickups.
Red to Prey isn't active much, and I think it's just because of how toxic cringe culture has become. And they'd rather not do stuff tangentially associated with that. Chip and Ironicus stopped doing their similar vids for the same reason.
I mean, I kind of have, like, a moral quandary of, like, how good of an idea was it in the first place to take, like, some kids' videos and make fun of them. But at the same time, they were really fucking funny. So, but... that was crap. No, I don't know about, like, this... I had this conversation last night, briefly, in another stream, about, like, the word cringe. Except I said it about... No, it was about the word aesthetic, but, like, how certain words, like, very quickly now fall out of style, and you get made fun of them for it. And it's so ironic to me that the word cringe has become itself. Like, you're not allowed to use cringe because it is quote-unquote cringy to do so. And I used to use that word a lot, not necessarily in reference to like secondhand embarrassment, because if it was secondhand embarrassment, I would just say secondhand embarrassment. But, like, I would say it about other things, like, oh man, that makes me cringe, like, you know, like a horrible sound or something. But now it's like, oh, you can't say that anymore because some edgelord will make fun of you for saying. Say, you should be able to say, you know, these harmless words if you want to, I think. And not worry about, like, if someone's gonna call you out for saying something that is now arbitrarily decided to be bad. Or, like, uncool. Or overused. If you want to overuse something, overuse it. I don't care. If it makes you happy, fucking do it. Say it. So, I hate the Yellow Devil in, like, pretty much every iteration. He was a bitch in Mega Man 11. That was, like, the hardest part of Mega Man 11, was trying to figure out the Yellow Devil. This one isn't so bad. The very first one is horrible if you don't use the glitch to, like, just spam damage on him with Elecman's weapon. Oh, come on. Oh, I gotta do the whole shit. How else were we going to learn of the Electrical Beast? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know about Electrical Beast otherwise. I don't know what he's doing today. Oh my god, am I really? Mega Man, please. And you know what? This game has a rewind feature, but I'm not going to abuse it. Because I don't need to, damn it. Cut to 5 minutes later, when I still haven't beaten the Yellow Devil. And I'm like, well, fuck it, let's use rewind. I tried to, like... There's no setting to turn off the rewind in this for some reason. And when I first got this, I kept hitting it by accident because I was thinking it was, like, to open the menu or something else for some reason. Like, I was getting my wires crossed with another game. I should probably stop trying to get 2 in 1. But I won't. There we go. And we didn't even have to rewind. I abused the heck out of rewind when I played this version,
glad it got added to the NES Online finally.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I saw the announcement that it was being added to the NES Online for the Switch games. But I care so little about the games that came out this month that I haven't even tried it. So chat, what does P stand for in the Mega Man games, in the early Mega Man games? Because there is a debate of whether it stands for player, or power, or plasma, or possibly something else entirely. Piss? No, I don't think it stands for piss. No. No, that doesn't look like piss. It's probably not piss. You think it's piss? I think power, because I feel like there were a lot of old games that would use the letter P on things, and it usually meant power. Or it was like a power item or something. Mario 3 is an example. Like the P-Wing, the P-Switch. Why would you even bother defeating that enemy?
That or please help, I'm a robot.
I wish I was a robot. It's... If anything, P stands for please help, I'm a human. Please help, I'm alive. Please help, there is life going on inside of me and I don't like thinking about it. Sorry, that is a real thing that I think about and really don't like. It just creeps me the fuck out to think about, like, everything going on inside you and that you are, like, alive. And you're a brain inside of a skeleton inside a bunch of meat. And I would much rather be a robot. But then, oh Nico, if you were a robot you wouldn't have feelings. Good, I don't fucking want feelings. I want to be a fucking robot, that's what I feel now.
The Eldritch horror of being alive.
Yes. It is, you know, like there are things about, you know, like just existence in general that you just kind of like have to put out of your mind all the time, or else you'd be like constantly screaming. I don't know. I get really, really existential sometimes. To like a point where I will give myself like an out-of-body experience. I used to have, and I haven't had this happen in a long time, But when I was younger, I would get these out-of-body experiences, or I don't know what else to call them other than that. But it used to happen mostly like I would be looking at like a family member, okay? Like I would be looking at like my dad or my mom, and I would just start thinking like why is this my dad? Why is this my parent? Like this is just like some other random human, and I'm just like related to them, and it could have been anybody. I could have been anybody. Anybody could have been my parent. And I would just get like this weird, it would just lead to this weird feeling of like I wasn't even there. I was like on the outside looking in at my own life. I definitely distinctly remember it happening one time in middle school, where I was talking to a friend outside. God, I was standing out back and I was just standing up against the wall and he was talking. And I was not listening to a word he was saying because I was just having thoughts like, you know, what is, like, the chances that, like, me and him would meet up? Like, what if I was born in, like, a different place or a different time? I would never know him. And, like, the influences he had on my life would never have occurred, and I would be a totally different person. So that's a thing that happens sometimes. And robots don't have that, as far as I'm aware.
My godfather used to joke all the time that if you spent too much time on the computer, I'd become a robot, and I wish that was true.
Yeah, same. As they say, that is a big mood.
I wish I was a dog or a horse or some other animal that can't comprehend mortality.
That is another good option, yes. Because, like, if you just can't understand it, then it's, like, not there.
You ever sit in traffic and think, oh my god, every single one of these cars has a living, breathing... Oh my god. Yes. A living, breathing person inside with their own memories, emotions, aspirations, all as real and fully formed as my own.
Oh my god. Yes, I do. I will walk through, like, the mall and just, you know, catch eyes with a random stranger. And we will have no interaction. And yet, I will start thinking, like, you know, I will never see that person again. I've never seen them before, and I will never see them again. And yet, they have existed this entire time, and will continue to exist. They will have their own lives, and do their own things, and I will never know about them. It's like, why am I using hard knuckle against... See, I'm not paying attention now because I'm getting too deep into existential dread on this happy fun time video game show. But I don't know, is there like any like psychology associated with those kinds of thoughts? Because it's kind of fascinating to me. It's like fascinating and horrifying at the same time. And so it's like picking a scab. Like, you want to learn more about it, but it will just upset you more. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, just don't think about it.
We're just words on a screen, but behind them there are people.
I know, that's wild. I think that a lot about, you know, with the internet and all. I think that that kind of thinking becomes more common and apparent. Like, you get to know these people online, but like you never really see them. And you gotta think, like, they exist. They are doing things even when they're not, you know, tweeting or posting or streaming to 3 viewers. I have, I apologize that I keep harping on the number of viewers. How am I ever gonna make affiliate? I was supposed to get famous off of this. Off of my excellent gameplay and commentary skills. None of which have been exhibited tonight. Your life is the sum of all your experiences, and it feels comprehensive. Like that's all there is because it's already impossibly large, but then every single one of the other 8 billion people on this planet have that. I know, it's horrifying. At least we're all active chatters. Yes, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate that. Because I would be... I would be dying if there were no chat. And why am I not... Fuck. What do I need here? I would be dying if there was no one to, like, talk to and I just had to... Or, like, even if I just knew that no one was there, I could still kind of, like, talk to myself as if, you know, knowing that people will see this in the future. But it would feel very strange. What do we need here? Well, I'll tell you what. We are going to cheese the second form of the... Did I just collect that and nothing happened? One sec. I'm rewinding just to see what happened there. Oh, it disappeared. Okay. I thought I collected that, but it never gave me any... It never gave me any energy. So I don't even remember how you're supposed to do this phase of the Wily machine, but what I do is make everything blink a lot. That should be fun on the capture. I just use Rush Jet and shoot the fuck out of them. You're supposed to, like, wait for him to dip down and shoot him with whatever weapon is strongest, but this is way easier. The worst is when someone comes in and says hi, and you reply, and they leave immediately. I feel like that would probably happen to me a lot, like with random people who are just like not finding this through me, like they don't know me, they're just finding like a random ass Twitch stream, and they're like, oh hey, this guy's playing Mega Man, let me go check it out, and they jump in chat. And, like, they hear me for 2 seconds, and they're like, no, I'm not, no, I'm good. I'll just play Mega Man myself, I'll do a better job of it. So this is Gamma, by the way. This is what Dr. Light was referring to. Wily, quote, ran off with this giant robot. Oh. I'm waiting for the hand to come down. That doesn't happen yet. That's not the right weapon. So yeah, this final boss. Very cool. Great job, Dr. Wily. This is actually the harder part. And there we go. That's Mega Man 3. Now Mega Man is dead. There were no other Mega Mans after this. Also, Dr. Wily is dead. I just realized he doesn't save Dr. Wily. Well, he obviously got out of there somehow. Mega Man, you've regained consciousness. I found you lying here when I arrived. I wonder who brought you here. It's Whistle. It must have been Proto Man. Mega Man. You must stop him immediately. Dr. Wily is at it again. At his dastardly deeds. So yeah, they show you all of the Mega Man 1 robots for no reason. But it's nice that they have, like, portraits now, because they didn't have those before in the first game. They were just the sprites. And that's how you know, figure out who Proto Man is. You don't know why he was fighting you. We don't know why he was fighting you. Yeah, weird ending. Now you get to see, these are the designers. I think, was this the first... This was the first Mega Man game, I think, that they had a call for entries from, like, kids in Japan. So these are the people who designed these... who sent in the initial designs for these Robot Masters, I guess. And you want to talk about, like, time and existentialism. If these were indeed, like, children at the time this game came out, like 89, 1990, those kids who designed Hardman and Top Man and Snake Man are all grown up now. And they too have lives of their own. And, you know, families possibly, jobs. And they're out there somewhere. Probably. Living their own lives. And you will never know about them. They're older than us. That's true, yeah, because... You know, this game was 1990. I was 1. And I wasn't, you know, old enough to design a Robot Master at that point. So yeah, that's the game. That's it. It's just gonna stay on this for now. Until you turn off the NES. I forget which Mega Man it was, but one of them had a robot design from the kid who went on to become the One Punch Man artist. No shit! I will have to look that up. I've never seen One Punch Man, but that's fucking awesome. Well, what time is it? 9? I don't know if I should try doing Mega Man 2 or not. What do you guys think? Also, I have no idea, and they don't explain it in the Mega Man Legacy Collection, what the CPU speed between original and turbo actually does. I have found no difference between the two. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So I've just left it on original because I don't know if like Turbo's just gonna like fuck anything up.
Yes, should do Mega Man 2. I mean, how long does that game take? Like an hour? Turbo, I think, just eliminates all the lag.
Oh. I never... Maybe I should have had that on in the first place, actually. Yeah, why not? Let's fucking... We'll go to Mega Man 2. We're gonna take a quick break. I can use my handy BRB screen now. Let me mute that. Look at that. Isn't that horrifying?
We're gonna take a quick break. I will come back, and I guess we're gonna fucking just do Mega Man 2.
So let me find some like music or something to put on.
Alright, I guess music is happening. I can't hear it because I'm on mute, but... Yeah, 2 is the best Mega Man, everyone agrees, so I'm for it, yeah. 2 and 3 are like my favorites, at least of the NES ones. The best Mega Man is Mighty Number 9. I am absolutely going to stream that game someday. I will wait till, you know, I get more of an audience to do so. Just as like a shit joke stream. Because my god, I have never been angrier about a video game than I have been with Mighty Number 9. Oh, you can't hear the music either? That's because I didn't click the unmute button. There, now can you hear music? I'm looking directly at the mixer and seeing that the audio capture was like not happening. And I just thought, yes, this is fine, this is okay. I'm the weirdo that is bad at Mega Man, but I like the designs from 6, or whatever had Centaur Man. Yes, that was 6. 6 was like my least favorite for a while, but like I played them all like back to back not that long ago, and I've determined that 5 is my least favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be right back. I'm maybe gonna tweet out about this again and see if we can get any more people to come in. And then we'll do Mega Man 2. So sit tight. I'll see you in a bit.